Mm, yeah. All right. So while we're getting ready, coming out of the rain, I like to read the prayer list. Prayers for a happy rebirth. All those killed by natural and man-made disasters. All the Tibetans who have been killed or have taken their own lives in the struggle for religious freedom. Geshe Sopa Rinpoche, Venerable Lobsang Chökyi, Dr. Diane Carlson, Andy Chauvin, Sally Comer, Ray Allen DeMarcy, James Foley, Wendy Johnson, Shia Mali Mitra, Stephen Sotloff, Robin Williams, Gersimi the cat, Scooter the dog. Job search. Roseanne Barona, Joey Gooch, Joe Griffiths, Jim Kay, Michelle Matich, Alex Schwartz, Greg Weaver, Sandy Wimpish. Prayers for health and well-being. Kyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Venerable Margaret McAndrew, Venerable Cherky Lamo, Venerable Losang Tsering. Oh, this is, she's okay. All those harmed by natural and man-made disasters. For the Tibetan people and for the Chinese authorities, may the non-violent path lead to full reconciliation and religious freedom. Bill Alford, Russell Allen, Ahmed Alcacer, Lisa Baranski, Jim Barnes, Luz Barona, Narcissus Barona Sr., Roseanne Barona, Bob and Rochelle, Kitty Burke, Willa Cherrett, Diana Dietzler Giussano and her children, Anna Clark, Dimitri Diamandopoulos, Suzanne Diamandopoulos, Diane Foreman and son Brad Wolf. Right. Okay, RG, and AC. I'm sorry, I didn't. It's not on that list. Jimmy Gooch and family, Mildred Gooch, Tracy Haas Thompson, Kathy Hayashi, Francis Hayashi, Leslie and Joan Inman, Nick Jablin's family of Wendy Johnson, Kenny Jackson, Buddy, Helen Kasanoff, Jessica Kasanoff, and the Pristop family, Nina Kowalski, Shanti and Kurt Latimer, Mary Lojek, Danny Love, R.M., Judy Martin and Andrea Martin, Tom McGinnity, Scotty McLean, Catherine Meyer, Sarah Miller, Colleen Mitchell, family of Shyamali Mitra, Evan Merlin family, William Oliver, Jay Pandya, Cindy Parrish, Anna Papard and her many cousins throughout the Ukraine, Ken Roman, Eileen Rubin and family, Ariana Scott, Rosemary Steese, Sarai, Basil Shute, Nancy Sorbit, Freddie Todd, Lobsan Topton, Brady Ware, Dionne Washington, Jessica Whitmore, Olivia Wilson, Shay Wokowicki, Dorja and Kadra the pigs. Thank you very much. Okay, so if you'll take out the white prayer book and turn to the first base sheet at the bottom. So right, yeah, the prayer book right there. That's it. And turn to the first base sheet at the bottom. You'll see Refuge and Bodhicitta Prayer. So let's just chant that. Sangye Chidansa Kichonam La Janchu Badu Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chenyengi Petsa Namgi Dola Pencher Sangye Dupashog Sangye Chidansa Kichonam La Janchu Badu Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chenyengi Petsa Namgi Dola Pencher Sangye Dupashog Sangye Chidansa Kichonam La Janchu Badu Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chenyengi Pesanamgi Dola Pencher Sangye Dupasho. Okay, and now let's say the four measurables, sort of at the top of that same sheet. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. Okay, and then flip to the back side of the same sheet. And at the top you see 7-limb prayer. So let's say that in English. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. I present clouds of every type of offering, actual and imagined. I declare all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the merit of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until the end of cyclic existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for living beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of all others to the great enlightenment. Okay, and so now on the pink sheet, on the bottom, it says praise and request to Lama Tsongkhapa. So let's chant that 3 times. Mi me tse we ter chen chen re zik Dri me kempe wampo jampe yang ganchen kepe tsu gen song kapa lo san jape Shabla soade mi metsewe ter chen chen reze dreame kempe wampo champe Ganchen kepe tsu gen song kapa lo sang jape shabla soade mig metsewe ter chen chen re sig rime kempe wampo jampe yan ganchen kepe tsu gen song kapa Lo sang jape shabla soade. Thank you, everyone, for coming on this very wet, chilly evening. So, I'd like to just reread the benefits of this practice of reviewing the Lam Rim outline. Lama Zopa Rinpoche states, I regard as the most important thing in the world anybody who dedicates his or her life to achieving Lam Rim realizations with the goal to liberate numberless beings from the oceans of samsaric suffering and bring them to enlightenment. Keep the mind in Lam Rim, Guru devotion, renunciation of samsara, and bodhicitta. These things help you to not commit negative karma again. Every day, meditate on the Lam Rim and keep it in your mind, even during break times from sitting meditation. And again, Geshe-la said this. Reciting the Lam Rim outline is superior to saying millions of mantras, to having clairvoyance or seeing deities. Review meditations leave imprints of the Lam Rim on your mind stream like footprints in the sand. Make many footprints in the sand. This is how you increase the chance to meet Lama Tsongkhapa's teachings in your next life. The footprints will stay a long time, whether the footprint is good or bad. And so I'm going to start reading the Lam Rim meditation for today, and the topic is mindfulness of death. So if you've never meditated before, the important thing is to keep your back straight. And try to relax your body, the tension in your neck, your shoulders, whatever. And you can put your hands on your knees or right hand on left with thumbs touching. And sort of bring your focus to your breath. You can focus either on the cool air going out of your nostrils as you going in as you inhale, and the warm air going out of your nostrils as you exhale. Or you can focus on your abdomen going up and down. And your eyes are slightly open, a couple feet in front of you, unfocused. If you hear sounds, or if you hear, if thoughts, emotions arise, if you think of agenda items, then just note them and let them go, like bubbles. And bring your focus back to your breath. And now I'd like to read a motivation for reading the Lam Rim outline. By reviewing each word of this Lam Rim outline, may I and all sentient beings realize the whole path to enlightenment. May each word of this Lam Rim outline subdue our minds immediately. May the whole path to enlightenment be generated in the minds of all sentient beings. Training the mind in the stages of the path shared with persons of small capacity has 3 parts. The actual training of thought for a person of small capacity. The measure of the attitude of a person of small capacity. Clearing up misconceptions concerning the attitude of a person of small capacity. The actual training of thought for a person of small capacity has two parts. Developing a state of mind that strives diligently for the sake of future lives, relying on the means for achieving happiness in the next life. Developing a state of mind that strives diligently for the sake of future lives has two parts. Mindfulness of death, the contemplation that you will not remain long in this world. Contemplating what will occur in your future life, the happiness or suffering of the two types of beings. Mindfulness of death, the contemplation that you will not remain long in this world, has four parts. The faults of not cultivating mindfulness of death, the benefits of cultivating mindfulness of death, the kind of mindfulness of death you should develop, how to cultivate mindfulness of death. How to cultivate mindfulness of death has three parts. The contemplation that death is certain, the contemplation that the time of death is uncertain, the contemplation that at the time of death nothing helps except spiritual practice. The contemplation that death is certain has three parts. The contemplation that the Lord of Death will definitely come and therefore cannot be avoided. The contemplation that our lifetime cannot be extended and constantly diminishes. The contemplation of the certainty of death, such that even while you are alive, there is little time for spiritual practice. The contemplation that the time of death is uncertain has three parts. The contemplation that the lifespan in this world is uncertain, the contemplation that the causes of death are very many and the causes of life few, the contemplation that the time of death is uncertain because the body is very fragile. The contemplation that at the time of death nothing helps except spiritual practice has three parts. Your body will not help, resources will not help, friends will not help. Meditation 1 from Shantideva's A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, Chapter 2, verses 33 to 47. The untrustworthy Lord of Death waits not for things to be done or undone. Whether I am sick or healthy, this fleeting lifespan is unstable. Leaving all, I must depart alone. Yet, through not having understood this, I committed various kinds of wrongdoing, for the sake of my friends and foes. My foes will become nothing. My friends will become nothing. I too will become nothing. Likewise, all will become nothing. Just like a dream experience, whatever things I enjoy will become a memory. Whatever has passed will not be seen again. Even within this brief life, many friends and foes have passed. But whatever unbearable wrongdoing I committed for them remains ahead of me. Thereby, through not having realized that I shall suddenly vanish, I committed so much wrong out of ignorance, lust, and hate. Remaining neither day nor night, life is always slipping by and never getting any longer. Why would death not come to one like me? While I am lying in bed, although surrounded by my friends and relatives, the feeling of life being severed will be experienced by me alone. When seized by the messengers of death, what benefit will friends and relatives afford? My merit alone shall protect me then. But upon that I have never relied. O protectors, I so unconcerned, unaware of such terror as this, accumulated a great deal of negative action for the sake of this transient life. Petrified is the person today being led to a torture chamber. With a dry mouth and dreadful sunken eyes, his entire appearance is transfigured. What need to mention the tremendous despair when stricken with the disease of great panic, being clasped by the physical forms of the frightful messengers of death. Therefore, I now seek refuge in the Buddhas who protect the world, who strive to shelter all that lives, and with great strength eradicate all fear. Meditation 2. Mindfulness of Death from the Door to Satisfaction by Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Look at everything: self, action, object, friend, enemy, stranger. Those who are the objects of your attachment, anger, and ignorance, with the awareness of the reality. All these are transitory and can cease at any time. Not only do these phenomena change within each second due to causes and conditions, but they can cease at any time. Death can happen at any moment. Your possessions also deteriorate, and not only do they change within each second, but they can also be separated from you at any time. Therefore, there is no reason at all to allow discriminating thoughts of attachment, anger, or ignorance to arise in relation to these objects. Be aware that these things are transitory in nature and not permanent. If one does not remember death, one does not remember Dharma. And even if one remembers Dharma, if one does not remember impermanence and death, one does not practice Dharma. Even though you may accept that you can die at any time, in your daily life, you tend to think that you are not going to die soon, not this year, not this week, not today, not now. Because of this, you postpone your practice of Dharma. If you don't think about impermanence and death, you don't practice Dharma, which means protecting karma by abandoning non-virtue and practicing virtue. You constantly create negative karma instead. But if you remember impermanence and death, you lead a highly meaningful life. You are able to practice the paths of 3 levels of capability and achieve the 3 great purposes, always increasing happiness, liberation, and enlightenment. The certainty of death. No medicine can stop death, and there is no place where we don't experience death. No matter how powerful our body is, our life shortens without any break. Each time we recite the mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, and move a bead on our mala, our life is closer to death with each mantra we finish. When we leave here to go home, each step we take brings us closer to death. When we arrive home, that much of our life is finished. Each time we breathe in and out, our life is nearer and nearer to death. And once a part of our life is over, we can't bring it back or change it. Once our life has passed, whether it has been meaningful or wasted, it has gone forever. You can't fix up any part of your life that has passed. All you can do is work on the present and the future. By making your present life more meaningful, you can fix up the future. You can make a better future. Meditate on your death now. Think of your body in a coffin being taken from your home to the cemetery, being buried there under the ground. Or meditate on your body in a coffin about to be cremated. Only your possessions are left. Think about this. When death happens, even though the body completely disintegrates, the consciousness continues from life to life. Think about karma and rebirth. Whether you will have a good or bad rebirth depends on whether your karma is good or bad. You are going to die today. So, what are you going to do with your life? Just thinking that you are going to die today is not sufficient. The thought should persuade you to practice Dharma and not waste your life. What are you going to do? Whether you live another hour or another 100 years, what are you going to do with your life? Okay, so we can again break into couple of small groups, and here's some suggestions of what you could discuss in your group. Understanding that death is certain, can happen at any moment. What are you going to do with your life? Why is it important to meditate on death every day? And the contemplation that at the time of death, nothing helps except spiritual practice. So those are some suggestions. So if you just get into groups, and it'll be about, I'll ring the bell in about 25 minutes, and then we'll close. So, how does spiritual practice help at the time of death? You're too weak, you can't think, you can't remember anything. You can hardly eat or talk. So how can your spiritual practice help you? Oh, I think it'd be great. Well, you know, it's not just like at the moment of death, all the things that you've been done. Well, we can get into our groups. uh, you know, um,